Tom Brady has Michael Jordan accomplishments, but Michael Jordan would be like Brady accomplishments with Patrick Mahomes' talent. Like everyone who played against MJ, you remember Magic's reaction to MJ when he was in the air and did this, in 1991 finals. Like everyone was in awe of Mahomes in that Super Bowl, even as Brady won. And Michael Jordan didn't have Bill Belichick, aka Phil Jackson, his whole career. He only had him for the last part, and he won a ring every single full season he played, besides the first one and the one where he came back from baseball. So I just want to make that clear to the viewers that Brady, I have great respect for him. I think he's more in the LeBron, Bill Russell kind of category, if I had to compare to sports. But there's only one MJ.
That, Mickey Mouse trophy, personally.
Ooh, cold. Next. Anthony Davis would not like that comment.
Anthony Davis will not like that comment because that's the only time he's actually played a full season where he was actually important to his team. Every time that he's been important to his team, where does his team go? Nowhere.
The 8th seed at best.
Now the Lakers need him more than ever. LeBron needs him more than ever. And where is he? Still in street clothes. I'm sorry, Anthony Davis. You are lucky to be on the top 75 list. I personally wouldn't put you up there because of durability and because of success. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Leslie along with Michael Steven, and this is the Raw Sports Debate. We're going to start out today's episode talking about Tom Brady, the GOAT, coming back for his 23rd season, and then Kirk Cousins inking a $35 million fully guaranteed deal, and then end today's episode with dissecting the Lakers. But now let's talk about the GOAT, the undisputed GOAT, coming back to the game that he loves.
Michael Jordan's coming back?
I would love to see that happen, but we'd have to rewind time because you and I both know his knees ain't the same, all right? But Tom Brady, the undisputed GOAT in football, is coming back for his 23rd season. How do you feel about this? And what do you think? Is he, do you think this is a time where we expect him to accomplish anything, or he's accomplished everything and, it's one of those seasons? Or how do you feel about this 23rd season of Brady coming back?
I have a lot of thoughts.
With Tampa. Go ahead.
I thought it was a perfect way to end, he won the Super Bowl. And then last year he leads the league in everything, right? Yards, touchdowns. He comes back 27-3. All right, it was almost like, he's a great leader. I'm going to get into why I think he's the greatest and the luckiest player that I've ever seen. But I'll tell you what, I was watching that game and I was like 27-13. It's like, yo, you keep fumbling the ball, you keep making mistakes, Brady's going to come back. Brady's going to come back. And of course he came back. But then, Stafford made a big throw. The Rams won the game. And I was like, you know what? That was a fitting end to Brady, 2-year run in Tampa. But you know what? He's probably looking at it like what I got to lose. I already, my status is cemented. He's probably got the best argument of anyone for being the GOAT in football. So I think it's going to go well. I think they're going to, if I had to take a guess, I'd say they're going to lose either in the divisional round, or maybe they'll lose to Denver in the Super Bowl. But I see them making the playoffs and making some noise.
Right.
What about you?
All right. Well, personally, I think Brady coming back for his 23rd season is an amazing thing that we are all going to be a part of.
23rd, like the GOAT.
Yeah, 23rd, 23 like MJ, right? I hope he goes to the NFC Championship against the 49ers, lose, hug it out and be like, damn, I should have been in the, red and gold. Personally, I wanted him to be on the Niners to retire, being a Niners fan growing up, being a Joe Montana fan, it would have been, right. But at the same time, seeing him go back to the Tampa to run it back, It just shows you again why Brady is Brady. The man is competitive, you know. He texted one of his coaches and goes, "Hey, let's run it back." You're just sitting at home feeling like, I've done this for so long, it doesn't really fit. The man can still play. He goes, I'm not gonna sit at home, almost same feeling and the same thing almost like LeBron is doing. So I'm personally excited to see this unfold. Whether he's successful or not, we'll still enjoy watching him. Because I remember his first year with Tampa, everybody was like, "Oh, he's not the same. He can't do. He needs Bill Belichick." Da da da. And then figured out to get in the playoffs. Defense was bad. Offense was clicking. Figured it out. Won a Super Bowl. Second year, lost to the Rams. All the way up there. Still was what, second or third seed. At the age of 44 years old. So that man is amazing.
I'm gonna give you some. I'm gonna give you some random Brady facts if you're ready for them. I'm gonna spit this right off the dome. All right, let's see. You're gonna have to drag that dude off the field like Favre. All right, Favre got concussed on a whole night, and that was it. He's like, I'm done. You're gonna have to drag Brady off. Unfortunately, he's too damn competitive. So Tom Brady has 35 playoff wins. I don't even know what second place is. Probably half of that. I think Montana's got like 16. Tom Brady is. I would draft Tom Brady over Bill Belichick. Like I would want if I had a choice. I was a general manager. I was an owner. As great as Belichick is, I would want Brady running my team. I would draft either Brady or Lawrence Taylor if I wanted to run a team as well. And then I would also say that Tom Brady, and I want your opinion on this as well. I would say that Tom Brady is not the Michael Jordan of football because Tom Brady has Michael Jordan accomplishments, but Michael Jordan would be like Brady accomplishments with Patrick Mahomes' talent. Like everyone who played against MJ, you remember Magic's reaction to MJ when he was in the air and did this, in 1991 finals. Like everyone was in awe of Mahomes in that Super Bowl, even as Brady won. And Michael Jordan didn't have Bill Belichick, aka Phil Jackson, his whole career. He only had him for the last part. And he won a ring every single full season he played, besides the first one and the one where he came back from baseball. So I just want to make that clear to the viewers that Brady, I have great respect for him. I think he's more in the LeBron, Bill Russell kind of category, if I had to compare to sports. But there's only one MJ. Your thoughts?
Well, Mike, let me tell you this. MJ is not Brady. Maybe that's how I should put it to you.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
He didn't play that long. He didn't need to.
He didn't. Let me tell you what, all right. Durability. Brady is super durable. Accomplishments. He's never been a selfish player. You can go back and look at his contract. He's never signed any. He's never been the highest paid player in his division. Fact. He's never been the highest. He's never been the highest paid player in his division.
Bringing some raw facts. I like it.
Yeah. But anyway, here's my point again. Brady is Brady. Jordan isn't Brady. Brady is LeBron, Michael Jordan, and Bill Russell. All three together. That's why he's the undisputed GOAT. Here's my fact. There is the combination. That combination. So yes, you're right. He isn't Michael Jordan. And I'll tell you why. The reason why he's just so far apart from everybody is because, again, this man was not athletic. We're playing in the league today where, athleticism speaks a lot. Lamar Jackson, Russell Wilson, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Deshaun Watson, all these guys have these tangibles where it's like, they can get out of the pocket, throw on the run, slide, do all of these things that Brady can never do to save any of his kids, okay? But I'll tell you what, he gets the ball out quicker. He's still in tune with the game. Smarter, his vision, his arm strength is there. He knows what he's good at and what he's not. You don't see Brady over here trying to do a play action every now and then. No, no, no. Let's put Brady in a position where he's successful. Brady always knows how to win, you know, just like Michael Jordan. Okay, so that's where that comparison and comes from. The Michael Jordan, LeBron, and Bill Russell. So with the Michael Jordan is just his instinct to win, whatever it takes. Okay, yelling in front of teammates, bringing the best out of them, challenging them, not like LeBron. LeBron is more of, a great father figure off the court, amazing person, to the Black community. We love him for that. On the field, I'm not a fan of him. But anyway, so that's where he gets that instincts from, from that Michael Jordan. But again, when it comes to just being like a great player, great teammate, and almost like a coach, that's where you get, and that's where you get that Bill Russell from. It's like, hey, I'm almost, having a, bring AB to live in my house. I'm Rob Gronkowski. Let's get back to it. Let's get in the gym, this and that. Like he's put a lot of people on great diets and things like that. He's made sure, they're in tune with the game, just like Bill Russell did for the longest. He was almost, like a player coach. And then also being durable, playing for this many years. Michael Jordan didn't do that. He had too much fun off the court. You know what
Michael
I mean?
Jordan,
but when he was on the court, he got the job done. Ain't nobody
Michael Jordan broke his foot.
Let me tell you this. Sure.
He played every game.
But again, when he was not on
Brady had one injury, Jordan had one injury. That's it.
Sure. But anyway, how many seasons did Jordan play? How many seasons did like here's the thing, right? Jordan knew that, hey, I came in, I did my job at the best rate, at the highest rate, at the golden, point. It was a change, almost generational. He changed the game. Michael Jordan almost single-handedly changed the game when he came into, the league in 84. So from 84 to 96, 97, yes, greatest play, a little bit, maybe 87, 89 to 96, greatest player to touch the basketball, right?
9-year run, yeah.
9-year run to touch the basketball, greatest, right? But again, moving forward, when he got older, and the Wizards, all of these things, he wasn't Brady. Brady, it didn't matter. We're seeing it 22 years, and like I said, all of this matters. This is why he's not Jordan, he's not LeBron, he's not Bill Russell, but he's all three of them. So that's my thoughts on that.
And I like that. I like that you, because there is such a thing as the longevity. You got to weigh longevity with the accomplishments, with the context, and I think that that's a fair debate. It's like a court case. It's like, hey, you got this argument, we got two elite lawyers and an impartial jury, right? Like you're gonna be like, listen, Jordan he stepped away from baseball. Hey, that was his choice. He went and played baseball, and the bottom line is he only had 12 elite years. Brady's had more. That is true. But I just take Jordan's raw greatness, and I would be remiss if I didn't add that Tom Brady was very fortunate to play in a division. Dan Marino retires, Brady slides in there, and he's got no elite quarterbacks, no great teams in that division for a full 18, 19 years. And then Josh Allen pops up and is a superstar now that Brady went over to the Bucs. So I do think there's some like LeBron in the Eastern Conference. Like LeBron made 8 straight finals, all power to him. That's incredible. That's historic. But he wasn't making 8 straight finals, in my opinion, in the Western Conference. So I do think if Brady had to deal with, the Rams and the 49ers and the Cardinals for 20 years, that would be a lot different. But I respect your opinion. I think that Brady has had some great fortune. I think it might be, some kind of witchcraft with Giselle. I read an article that made a lot of sense. But at the end of the day,
none of those make sense, Mike.
That made the most sense to define the fact why the tuck rule happened, why a guy lined up off sides, why John Casey kicks the ball out of bounds, win a 29-29 Super Bowl. Tom Brady is the king of the field goal game-winning drive. But listen, he's still the GOAT.
It's called sports. It's called sports, things happen.
Adam Vinatieri gave him a couple of rings. Eli Manning took a couple away. It's fair.
That has absolutely nothing to do with him, okay? But again, That's enough on Brady. We'll wait to see how, his 23rd season
What's your
unfolds.
prediction?
Okay.
A loss to the 49ers in the playoffs? Is this your prediction?
Yes, he's definitely making
The
the super.
49ers are making the playoffs? Who's the quarterback? You?
It won't matter because last year we didn't have a quarterback and we still made the playoffs on that NFC, championship
Oh, just
night.
the Jimmy G.
No, no,
I
no, no,
like
no,
you,
no,
Jimmy
no,
GQ.
no,
I
no.
like you.
Listen. You can have Jimmy G, Mr. Seattle. All right. Oh,
Put
you're
him in
not a
Seattle.
Seattle. Oh, you're not a Seattle fan. You're a Denver fan now.
I root for players. That way I'm consistently entertained. I don't root for laundry. That's my style. However, the problem with rooting for a great player is that you have to be resigned to the fact you're probably going to lose in heartbreaking fashion in the playoffs most years. But yes, I am a Denver fan now. You are a Niner fan, and perhaps we will meet in the Super Bowl like the old days.
Hey, that would be nice, but you already know how that goes, all right? We could wait on it. Russ, we love Russ. We love to play Russ one more time. Those days are over. We only are
What was your
scared of
record against
Russ.
him?
Listen. I was
4 and
in that.
17.
Listen, let me tell you this, all right? The Niners are only scared of Russ when he's in the Seattle uniform. He's
Four,
not when he's not, ain't nobody scared of Russ. Nobody,
4 and 17.
not even
4 and
Patrick
17, like
Mahomes.
my brother's wedding
That's
day. 4-17.
Hey, let me tell you something, man. Shit happens. And that's the raw facts. 4-17, 4-17. That's cool. That's cool. You know what? I'll tell you this. Moving forward, we both hope we see each other in the
I wish Russ
playoffs
was
one
on the
more time.
Niners all these years. We would have had 3-4 rings together. It would have been glorious.
Yeah, I don't like to be on the same team with you, to be quite frankly with you.
Me neither. Just saying.
Yeah, no, I wish you was on the Niners, but I wish you weren't a fan. I wish you weren't a stan of him. That
Oh yeah. You bringing up Eminem lyrics like the kids. Listen. You remember this.
maybe.
This is an important point. I am not a fan of him. I don't defend how great he is because I'm a fan. I'm a fan because I recognized early how great he is. That's an important distinction that the
Well,
fans must know.
I understand that. And the fans, I think they hear what you're saying. Okay. We're gonna hear the comments, the feedback, everything, and we'll see this Russ guy right there. Yeah, call him the Russ guy, Michael Steven, the Russ guy. Okay.
I
Anyway.
wear many hats when I wear hats. Go ahead.
Well, our last topic for football will be Kirk Cousins signing a 35 million fully guaranteed 1 year deal. Your
1 year.
thoughts on that? Yeah.
I like it because it's 1 year. Kirk Cousins is an average quarterback. He seems to he plays. He's one of those dudes like Tony Romo. Tony Romo was a great player, but he seemed like in big games, shit always didn't go his way. Especially on national TV. Even if he would play well, he'd lose at the end. Kirk Cousins is like when the lights are on, like I'm just reporting the facts. Like his record is horrible. So I all the talent around the league. I like the 1 year deal. He's an average quarterback. A little bit better than Jimmy GQ.
Well, I don't know who that is. But anyway, Kirk Cousins has the best agent in the NFL. This man is a finesse guy.
He only got 1 year.
If it's him. Listen, exactly. Like what they did for Kirk, that's the same way they should have, won about Rodgers' deal. Okay. Simple, plain and fair. All right. We have given you this much talent for this many years. You have not done nothing extraordinary. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna give you a 1 year deal for you to go out there and show us what you can do one more time with a great offensive talent. They have Dalvin Cook, amazing running back. Justin Jefferson, rookie of the year, offensive, rookie of the year, his time. You can't deny these facts. Adam Thielen, Adam third down. I call him Mr. Reliable. You look his way, he's gonna be there, You even had Stephon Diggs and all of that, these likes. There's been quarterbacks that have never had these high-profile names and still make things happen. He's 1-3 in the playoffs. I have a question. What's Russell Wilson's playoff record?
9-7.
9-7. 9-7. Now let's do a little comparison here, okay? So Russell Wilson has been in the playoffs 16 times. Did you hear me say Kirk Cousins is 1-3? He's been in the playoffs 4 times. They both entered the league in the same year. Kirk Cousins didn't play year 1 and 2 behind RG3, but since then he's been a starter since 1-3. Oh, seriously? Like, what is a great quarterback these days? What is a great quarterback? He definitely does not deserve 35 fully guaranteed. I give him 35 if you get to the playoffs, some incentives. If you win a play, put these incentives. They're giving him 35 fully guaranteed. His agent won this trade, personally. But anyway, now we're gonna jump into some basketball. We're gonna talk about the Lakers, the struggling Lakers. I think they're currently ninth or 10th seed in the West currently as we speak.
Ninth to 10th seed.
Yeah, currently.
Wasn't LeBron criticizing the playing game a couple years ago? Like, oh, that's ridiculous. Now you need it, huh?
Yeah, honestly, I personally think the playing games was made for LeBron because at this point, why are we even doing it? He's the only one in the playing that matters. I mean, yeah, KD's team is 8th, but they would still be making the playoffs. He's the only one that low that actually matters. Nobody else. I personally think they made this for LeBron because of the bubble, and then they somehow got and snuck up, beat Portland, all of that. Mickey Mouse trophy, personally.
Ooh, cold.
Next.
Anthony Davis would not like that comment.
Anthony Davis will not like that comment because that's the only time he's actually played a full season where he was actually important to his team. Every time that he's been important to his team, where does his team go? Nowhere.
The 8th seed at best.
Now the Lakers need him more than ever. LeBron needs him more than ever. And where is he? Still in street clothes. I'm sorry, Anthony Davis. You are lucky to be on the top 75 list. I personally wouldn't put you up there because of durability and because of success in the NBA with team. I'm not talking about personal accolades because personal accolades make guys like personal accolades make people like Aaron Rodgers the best of all time. Okay. We're not talking about personal accolades. Personal accolades doesn't do nothing for the team. Okay. Personal accolades definitely makes LeBron the greatest of all time. Okay. But it's not about personal accolades. We're going to talk about how he made the team better. He did make his team better. Like, I mean, he would put up 40 points, whatever, but the team will not be in the playoffs. So even if they're in the playoffs, what are they doing? But ask yourself, Anthony Davis, I know you're not going to like this, but before and prior to the bubble, where was your strongest playoff run? I really want to know that.
They won a couple games, right? Won a couple games 1 year. Huge run.
Playoff runs, where and when was that and how consistent has that been? And that's how you become a top 75 player. You became a top 75 player based on your talent, not based on your success. Ooh, personally.
That's what, you know what? And now I like that you brought this up. Anthony Davis is now suffering from something that I call ring privilege.
What's that?
Ring privilege. You win one ring, and then you can basically say whatever you want with no repercussions. And the national media and everybody just lets you say it because you won a ring. Kind of the way, Glenn Rivers is considered a great coach until now he's basically proven that he's not. Same thing with Pete Carroll. Same thing with even Mike McCarthy to some degree. Why did he get hired by Dallas? You win a ring, and people always look to that instead of looking at the entire context. Now, Anthony Davis, I agree with everything you said for once. And Anthony Davis made a comment the other day. Would you like to hear it?
I'd love to hear it, Mike.
He said he was asked if his groin injury is the main reason the Lakers didn't beat the Suns in the playoffs last year. And he says it was. We know that. They know that. They got away with one. Now, allow me to respectfully rant on this.
What he said that?
In street clothes. I mean, maybe he was wearing a practice jersey. I don't know. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. And Devin Booker perfectly said, "Hey, I think it's kind of funny." Yeah, as they beat them 140 to 111 without Chris Paul. Here's the thing. Even if you do feel that way, it's not something that you verbalize. I think that's a weak move. It's not a respectful thing to say. And number two, it's absurd. And I believe that there are a lot of Laker fans and a lot of fans in general that right now still feel like that is a true statement. And that's part of the ring privilege problem because the Suns and their players have not won a ring. Their main players have not won a ring. The Lakers won a ring. So therefore, and they're the Lakers. So they have the right to say these things and get away with it. The bottom line is that Chris Paul suffered a shoulder stinger in the first game, and he couldn't shoot literally until the end of game 6. So, yes, the Lakers lost game 1 with AD getting outplayed. They won game 2, they won game 3, and then they were losing at halftime when Anthony Davis got hurt. But you could see it's game 4, which we'll get into another time. But Chris Paul in game 4 is dynamite. He just dominates in game 4. That's like the swing games, and that's when he's always great, as long as he's not hurt. And even if he was hurt, it was a game that he was on fire and they won. So I think it's ridiculous, Les, that in this day and age that people don't look at both sides of the spectrum. They look at, oh, this guy was hurt. AD was hurt. He's a champ. And they're just going to conveniently ignore the fact that Paul couldn't raise his arm above his head. And he looked like he was in Space Jam, and his powers got taken away from him. He couldn't even pass. Okay? So bottom line is the Suns were 51-21 last year. They're 48-10 this year with Paul. They're the best team in the West. They're the best team in the NBA. They're going to win a championship. And eventually down the road, Anthony Davis will look stupid for his comments. Hopefully they play each other this year so they can win one game, the Anthony Davis staple, other than the Mickey Mouse ring. One game, and the Suns will put them out of the misery, and LeBron will throw a hissy fit. That's all I got to
say. Anthony Davis is that's an entitled statement from him. For him to just, sit there and say, they stole, they got lucky. Well, first of all, Mr. AD, Mr. Bubble, all right, you got lucky winning the ring. If you want me to be quite honest with you, there are teams that didn't even want to play in the bubble because of what was going on. Okay, not everybody was in there. Do you know how many players actually didn't play in the bubble? There's actually quite some players that didn't play in the bubble.
No fans either.
Yeah, no fans, none of that.
Very well.
Yeah, we can already see that now. The Lakers are already now a good team, overall right now. They're not a great. They're ninth in the West with one game ahead of the Pelicans. Okay, they're 2 games out of the play-in tournament, and you really believe that the Suns got lucky? Well, first of all, Mr. 80, let's go back to the bubble, all right? With the bubble, first, there's no fans. It's like practice, okay? And they're like, oh, it was hard. We had to not see our wives and this and that. You guys played AAU. You guys act like we ought to them play sports. Yeah, I didn't play to make money like you guys are doing, but that's the point. If you out there making that kind of money, it's okay to go away for 2-3 months, all right? People in the military do it. Sometimes you got to be all locked in and go get your job done. Okay? So if you guys are doing that, don't sit there and complain about how it was tough. And no, it's part of the game. Part of, how it should have went. Fortunately for you, come again?
Pampered athlete syndrome right there.
Yeah. At the end of the day, they made it seem like, oh, the bubble is so crazy. But then when things started going their way, when LeBron had to dictate, yell, and hear himself in the building and all of that, it was fun. When they had the Heat to squeeze their hands, that was fun. The Heat had no business being in that final. You kidding me? You know what I mean? The best player was Jimmy Butler on their team that had to guard LeBron. How's that
a couple great games.
No, not working. Look at guys. There's so many people that averaged points that they will never average go close to them, and it was all because of the bubble. I guarantee you that. As Devin Booker, he would tell you Tyler Hero was going off because of the bubble. We all said it because of the bubble. PJ Warren, he was averaging 30 points on the Pacers. Bubble, brother, bubble. Okay, when you put in an enclosed area with, sometimes it gets easier. No fans, no distraction, none of that. I personally think it was a easier route. So yeah, I think he got lucky winning a ring for him to, sit there and say the Suns. No, the Suns beat him. Durability is part of the game, and Mister, you not being available is not nobody's fault. Okay. It's not nobody's fault. It's like, yeah, you got into a foul trouble. You were out of the game, and then another guy came in, and the team was picking on him. It's not the other team's fault. Know how to play good defense and not get thrown out of the game. Things like that. You can't just say that. Now he's giving me the ammo to go ahead and say that he won a lucky ring. Personally,
So
respectfully.
I have a couple of questions.
Mhm.
So what is that quote? The best ability is availability, right? Like we were talking about with Brady, and LeBron and Jordan. These guys they got one injury and that was about it. Are we going to refer to Mr. Davis as Mr. Bubble from now on? I mean, that sounds. I mean, I don't have anything against him personally, but I mean, I do kind of. You remember, like online, people were saying that he was better than Tim Duncan. Like we actually have people
I
out
don't
there.
think anybody has ever said that.
People have said it, and not that that's it's unfortunate. I just think I want to
I could
address.
see kids born in the late 2000s saying that because maybe they never really watched Sim play. So yeah,
But
it's like
talent, and your ceiling. People need to understand, and that's something that me and you get. It's like your ceiling might be up here, but if your
Mhm.
floor is down here, like literally on the ground because you're not available, or you just
That's
check
who
out of
you are.
games. Yeah,
That's who you
like
are.
so maybe you can get to here, and like and it looked so good, but Tim Duncan like stayed here, and he stayed there like for 20 years.
His whole career, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, so you got a little bit higher, like one or two games, but actually, didn't Tim Duncan had like 21, 15, 10, 8 games in the finals. Like, Tim Duncan is
Tim
one of
Duncan
the
is
GOAT.
the MVP. He's a
5-time champ.
five-time champion. Please let's not sit here and compare him to
Yes.
Anthony Davis.
I just
Okay,
needed to get that
come
off my
on, like
chest. I remembered that.
this is the
It's
raw
finito.
sports debate. We don't tolerate no none.
Yeah.
This is not up for debate. All right, nobody says that. Not here. We will
Hey,
never
sometimes
compare
we need
Anthony.
those Mike Tyson knockouts,
Listen, I compare Anthony Davis to likes like Charles Barkley. Okay, yeah, guys like that.
Barkley's better.
Draymond Green. Yeah, Draymond Green, Charles Barkley, Dennis Rodman, that strong four that could almost shoot. And, with Rodman, it was more defense and hustle. Draymond is like all around, but not shooting and not the best offensive, talented guy. But his court vision is as good as LeBron and, many likes like, Magic and things like that. I'll not, he's offensively better than all these guys I mentioned. Barkley's tougher. Barkley would have won a ring with LeBron multiple times for sure. Barkley would have, put up those numbers that AD put up, with DeMarcus Cousins. So yes, personally, I do think that AD is bugging on that.
Russell Westbrook. Your thoughts?
Russell Westbrook is going through he's going through a decline, but I personally don't even think it's a decline. This is who Russell Westbrook has been. This is who Russell Westbrook has always been, but now it's more amplified because his team is really, really bad. When he was with Kevin Durant, when he was with James Harden and all of these likes, right? he would put up his 30 points, this and that. But also remember, like I said, when he was with this one other person, one other person, one other person. So it's either you or me. It's either you or me. And we always know, Brody always think it's him, right? But here you're with a team where LeBron dictates who's even gonna be the coach. So first of all, sit down, sit your ass down, okay? And then second of all, he's made it clear AD is the number two option. LeBron keeps saying AD is the number one option, and we all know AD is not available to be even the number one. So that puts Russell Westbrook in the backseat, you know. LeBron and AD are riding. Westbrook is in the back. He's not used to that. He's not even used to being the second option. So now it's getting to him. The fans are getting to him. He's having a bad reputation with fans, with the media, you know, all of that. He's struggling physically on the court and mentally. I can tell personally. I've been a fan of Russell Westbrook when he was with what's it called, the Thunder. Personally, I think, you know, there's a lot of times where he should have given the ball to KD because he's a generational talent. There's not gonna be another KD.
Now,
So that's how I feel about, you know, that whole Russell Westbrook situation. And personally, I do think he will be I think he will be a better fit for teams that are not competing to be in the playoffs or for a ring. If you put him on a team like Magic, on a team like Houston, you know, teams that are not the worst, but bottom, like the 8 to 10, 8 to 12 teams. I think he's gonna be amazing on there. Why? Because he's gonna help sell tickets. Right now, Russell Westbrook doesn't bring you much. He can be a good sixth man coming off the bench. He can even be a starter on a great team as long as he accepts and understands his role. That Russ, you're not the 23, 24 to 29-year-old Russ, okay? Slow it down, be smarter with some of these moves and all of these things. One, he should think of, Russell Westbrook is also very durable as well. But again, he should think about just taking that along with him. The Lakers are making him look very bad. I don't think he's very bad. I think he's who he is.
I think it's mutual. I think he's making the Lakers look bad and they're making him look bad. But I'm gonna respectfully rant again about this man. Now, in an age with load management, in an age where we got, Mr. Glass or Mr. Bubble, whatever you want to call him, AD.
Oh,
Russell Westbrook.
That's whoa, wow. Okay.
Russell Westbrook is a man of steel. That dude gives 100% every time he plays basketball. If you paid money to go see him play in a foreign state, a different state, you travel to go see him play, you know he's going to show up. Unless, he's got a broken leg or something, which doesn't happen very often. But he does get a couple injuries, but he's very durable. He always shows up to play, and he goes 100%. And above all, that needs to be respected. And I think off the court, he's a great dude, other than when he wears dresses. But he's a great dude, okay? So the bottom line is,
he's not a great dude with dresses or what, Mike? What are you trying to say?
He shouldn't be wearing dresses. I don't know how much he got paid to do that, but Russ, come on, knock it off, all right? Now,
a lot of money.
Russell Westbrook, in my opinion, also is overrated. He's not a very good shooter. He's never has been, and he's gotten worse. He used to be an extremely clutch free throw shooter. Whenever my team faced him, I was like, damn, Russ is at the line. At the end of the game, he's gonna make it. But at the end of the day, he's not a good shooter. He is a turnover machine. He's a very good passer, but he turns the ball over too much. And he's always been, unfortunately, an irresponsible defender. He tries really hard on defense, but he runs into screens. He doesn't communicate well. He gets lackadaisical. Mm-hmm. And he always has been, honestly. And even with that motor, he just hasn't put it to use. And I do believe that the person who stopped Kevin Durant the most during those years was Russell Westbrook. I think that Russell Westbrook helped draw attention away from KD, but he was never an off-the-ball threat because teams didn't respect his three-point shot. And I do believe that if KD was with a more natural point guard like a Steve Nash, a Chris Paul, a Steph Curry, Isaiah Thomas type, that Kevin Durant's numbers would have been even more efficient than
And
they
he
were
would
already.
have definitely won a ring in
Yeah,
2011 against,
yeah.
Bron.
And I just think that Russell Westbrook, listen,
Or
again,
13,
I have,
sorry.
yeah, my bad. But like, yeah, Russell Westbrook, in my opinion, is not, I would not draft him in my top 50 all time. I would, and I think in 10, 20 years from now, he's not going to be in the top 75 of all time, like the top 100, like Ja Morant types, like Luca. Like I'm drafting them over Russell Westbrook. That's just how I feel. And the shooting and size advantage is a real thing, and I think that's unfortunate that Russ hasn't changed. I thought he would change, but he hasn't. And I do believe personally that when history is written about this league, that the Rockets trading Chris Paul to the Thunder for Russell
Yeah.
Westbrook and then receiving back extra picks and cash as if Westbrook was better, I think that's going to go
Mhm.
down as one of those like, how in the world did that happen kind of trade.
Well, it was one of those that happened because, that whole, Chris Paul got hurt during the playoffs. Oh, he always gets hurt, so let's get rid of him, maybe Russ. And which is true. He does always get hurt, vital moments. But at the
Not
same time, I
always, once
think
every 2 years.
when it matters, he does get hurt.
Ain't gonna happen this year.
Oh, I hope not, because I like to see greats go at it. I don't like to see injuries. But history has always repeated itself. I hope it doesn't this time around. Okay. But again, like I said, Russ could benefit on other teams by just not on the Lakers. Like I
Right.
said, he's having a slow decline. People think it's a boom decline. No, Russ has never been a good shooter. I'm like bricking. Like now he's just a bad shooter. First, he was a decent, he can make some shots. Mid-range and glass on the side, he's good for that. Every once in a while he hit those clutch threes, he could take it to the hole better than anybody I've personally seen. As good as Jordan and Derrick Rose, athleticism like that. But at the same time, like I said, in today's game, there's more to do with, PER, point efficiency ratio and all of these things. And Russ doesn't,
That's
analytics
player
don't
efficiency rating. Come on, Les, get your analytics down.
play, bro.
I'll help you.
Listen, first of all, Russ, all right. Analytics isn't his best friend right now. But believe it or not, Russ is actually shooting better than Steph Curry.
From two.
Yeah. But
Wow.
yeah, from the field, he's shooting better than Steph. But let me tell you what, right? Things like that won't matter. Okay.
Right.
Actually, a fact. Russ is shooting better than
Yeah. That's one of those
than
that's a fact, but it's one of those, numbers lie type of things because
and
that's just crazy.
also
Yeah.
Steph could
I like
have a very, very bad game multiple times. It won't matter. But
that.
Russ, it won't matter. Why? Because it's like, damn, bro, when you gonna turn it on? When you gonna turn it on? When you gonna
Yeah.
turn it on? Right? But Steph always turns it on. Even on a bad night, and sometimes he has 35, 40 points. He might be shooting, he might be 9 for 25 or 9 for 30. Himself and James Harden are like they take a lot of shots and miss a whole lot of shots as well. But again, when they're on, they're on. So
Curry
again,
moves off the ball and Curry creates gravity.
all of these things. But my
Yeah.
point is,
Oh, I get you. I get you.
Russ isn't doing the worst, but because now he's on a team that it's the Lakers, number one, and number two, they have LeBron and Anthony Davis. So these two are drawing a lot of attention. The Staples Center, sorry, the Crypto Center is still selling out. Okay, with the likes of these three stars. So sometimes teams and organizations will still have you not because of what you can do on the court, but what you can bring to the arena. That's why he's still there, helping sell out these arenas.
They might
But
bring a playoff win or two. About it.
if they make the playoffs, but again, I would not be listen. If they do make the playoffs, let's all know and understand that they're more than likely going to be the 8th seed, and they have to play the Suns. They have to either play the Suns or the Warriors. They're gonna be the 7th or 8th seed in the West. So
We got
they're
a
gonna play.
rematch in the NBA
Yeah,
refs.
because
And
you
we
gotta
know what side the
understand.
refs go on. We know history.
Yeah, and let me tell you this: the Celtics are already gonna make it, right? Now it's up to the Lakers, Pelicans, Spurs to force themselves in with these last two, these last couple of games. So my point is, even if the Lakers are the best team in the play-in tournament, at best they'll be a 7th seed. 7th seed, they're gonna play the Warriors or Memphis, one of these two. I don't think the Suns will lose enough game to be the 2nd seed. They're already 6 games ahead. I think they're gonna ride it out, and 5 games. Sorry, I think they're gonna ride it out, and maybe be 2-3 games at the very end of the season. So, like I said, at best, Lakers play Warriors or Memphis, or they play the Suns. And if they do beat the Suns, then
And we can reassess Anthony Davis.
then we can come back to this episode, and I'll admit that, hey, you know what? Street clothes might have been right that day. Okay.
That's right. Hey, listen, we're all for giving our opinions based on what we know and the facts and the context. But we will admit when we're wrong in those rare occurrences. But the Suns are going to win the title, so we don't have anything to worry about here.
Absolutely.